Yeah, man, it's Worldwide Sounds Record Zone. DJ Chase, man, you're now locked in with the PreGame PartyMix podcast and the Rush Hour PartyMix right here on Connecticut's own Smack 'em Radio, Monday through Friday, 5 p.m. to 6 p.m. We on 13 podcast networks. We the bosses. You know what it is. It's the Worldwide Sound Zone, DJ Chase, man. But enough for me. We got the homie, my brethren, Mr. Joshua, a.k.a. Coach Classic. Love with Legs CEO, fitness instructor, former artist, former MC, Bronx representer, Harlem representer, New York City representer. Just a fine fella, mentor, life coach, black business owner, and magician, body magician, as I call him. How you doing, brother?
I like that. I like that. Yes, sir. It was a pleasure to have you. Thank you. Anytime, pleasure to be here, man. Thank you.
Not a problem, bro. You know, this is my ish. This is my podcast. This is my radio show. And don't nobody tell me what to say. Don't nobody tell me what to do. And we just use them for distribution. We don't use them for nothing else. We record this out of a black-owned studio, black-owned podcast, black-owned record label. And you are, my brother, you are welcome to say whatever you feel tonight. The climate of the country. This is a time capsule right here of content. This is historical recordings, historical documents in a tumultuous, uncertain times that we live in. And yeah. So with that being said, man, rest in peace, George Floyd. Everybody who we lost to the COVID-19 pandemic. I lost 6 friends in the past 3 months. You know, and Coach Classic is, you know, he's about that life motivation and that life uplifting, brother. So how you feeling today, bro?
I'm dope. You know, I'm grateful for the opportunity, man. I'm tell you, friends, everything, and I think we need it.
Yeah, man.
I'm great.
Yeah, and I just want to say to you, brother, you are a fantastic mentor. You're a fantastic life coach. You motivate people. You're getting me in shape. You know what I'm saying? With this entertainment game, you can get fat real easy. I know between the booze and the shit, I love it all. But, you know, time for a change. Nah, seriously. It's just a lot of sitting down. So it's just getting your body right. So you sit, especially being an engineer, being in the studio and being a producer, you're doing a lot of sitting. So your body gets inhabited by that. And, you know, the music business doesn't really, you know, promote a healthy lifestyle, healthy living, healthy eating habits. It promotes, you know, Henny things, everything, and drug habits and stuff like that. So the first introduction, you know, I want you to introduce yourself, brother. Where you from?
Oh, Bronx, New York. All my life, Bronx, New York. Native of the Bronx all my life. And like you said, we we were going through some tough times in New York, but it makes you Bronx strong. I've been in the Bronx all my life.
Mm-hmm.
I'm happy to say that.
Yeah.
Like you said, you said it all pretty much. You know, was a rapper, on my own record label. Mm-hmm. Everything within the past like 2 years, everything kind of just shifted.
Yeah. And
just in an attempt to kind of just reach optimal health and understanding the habits, not only just in the Bronx, but just the habits from just all the elements, forced me to just, you know, turn into Coach Classic. So initially it was Classic the Raptivist, so and then just kind of just went to Coach Classic.
We own it. You know what's funny? You guys actually inspired me. You know that, right? When y'all had
we
on it.
Wow.
I'm gonna tell you a funny story, right?
Wow.
I'm gonna tell you. I didn't know. I kept trying to push it because, you know, my goal was to be the best DJ ever, right? But, you know, not in the, you know, you young, so we young, you know, we young vets. So, you know, at that time we was like 21, 22. So all I wanted to do was be the best DJ I could be. So I'm like, I wanted to be, you know, but I just had a production company, and then, you know, and then I seen you guys. You guys was the first team that I seen that had the printed CDs, and I was like, yo, how the hell they doing that? Like. And you didn't think I remember that, but you guys was the first crew that and that, especially back then as an independent label, you were the first guys that I seen had a UPC code barcode on your CDs, and I was like, how the hell y'all do that? But you know, you inspired me to start my label from all the way back then, bro. And I just wanted to just tell you that. I don't think you knew that, but definitely, I kept that in the back of my mind too. I wanted to kind of keep that as a surprise for you.
My brother, that's a jewel. That's a jewel. That's a jewel, and that's for the show. You know the history. Yeah, We Own His Records was a joint venture between me and two other artists, and we just came together as separate artists, and we came together as a collective. But what we did, we had a strong pushing for one project, and at the time, I believe we was pushing Project Pressure Point. And we just really just put all our eggs in one basket behind the artist P Pressure. Yeah. And like you said, we just went all out and formed the actual LLC behind it.
Now, mind you, not to cut you off. Now, if you're listening, if you're just now listening to the podcast, right, I want you to put in perspective. That was before CD Baby. That was before TuneCore and DistroKid. So this is 11, 12 years ago when this was going on. So you have to put that in perspective of how innovative you guys are, bro.
Wow. Yeah. That was pretty dope. That you definitely used as inspiration, and that's what it was for. Yeah, that's what it's definitely for, man. It was a great time. And then it definitely fueled my entrepreneurial spirit. And a lot of the businesses that I've conducted now, I've done it just off of learning the professionalism of We Own the Records back then, just kind of doing things right. And even then, I had a lot of great mentors and people in my life, and even some of the people who put us together. I'm just really grateful for that. So we had the opportunity, so we can link even back then for it to come back full circle now, man.
Yeah,
I'm grateful for that, man.
Nah, definitely. And with the climate of America today is really about black people taking charge at this point. We've had enough. We're sick of it. We're sick of the racism. We're sick of living in fear. We're sick of all of it. And so with the current climate of America, my brother, what's your take on it, bro? Let's talk about it. Let's get right into it.
Yes. See, I've always been a vocal. I've always been vocal, like I said, even when it came with the music. Mm-hmm. You know, one of the monikers I had was just classic the raptivist. So, even doing the fitness, it's a different kind of attack that I'm taking. But I'm glad I still have the desire to speak, and this platform is a great thing. Getting straight into it, it's crazy. It's a hot time. It's been a hot weekend. I've been mostly quiet because I just been more into the introspective kind of talk about it, or the inside talk, or just kind of what's the word I like to say? I like to just go inside before I like to kind of voice myself. But I think that we're in pain right now, man. We're in pain. That's the best way to describe it.
Yeah,
we're in pain.
And it's just a boiling. You know, the tipping point is at the tipping point now, and then what I'm not liking is how everybody's not saying what the issue is. It's a black issue, and everybody's trying to out black each other with the black issue because it's the popular thing. But I'm black 24 hours a day. It don't change. I can't take this off. You know what I'm saying? I could go to a doctor and bleach my skin, but I'm still be black at the end of the day. And I spent the past 3 days, my brother, being a race ambassador because I've been seeing so much ignorance from people that I personally know who like black music, who at parties dancing on black people. So I know what time it is. You know what I'm saying? Like, stop it.
Right. That's good. Outside of first, just think from a human standpoint. It's just first, we've been in the house for a while. Everyone's been quarantined for a while. They've taken, the hoops off of the basketball courts. They've broken down a lot of the playground. Yep. They've actually just at least put us in a position where just expression in general, like that's kind of been stifled. In terms of even going out and just kind of expressing yourself, whether that's going to a club, whether that's going out to a place to kind of just have some kind of release. So now we just have such a hot climate, and throughout the United States right now, also throughout the world, even bigger. And you have this thing that pushes us kind of over the cliff. And, you have the murder of George Floyd, and now we just need some form of expression. And people are expressing themselves in some really, really unique ways. And kind of just piggyback what I was saying before, I personally have been going with the introspective thought. I've been going inside. I've been, meditating. I've been kind of just kind of choosing that. But now you have a whole generation who is expressing themselves probably in the complete opposite way. So instead of being introspective, they're going straight into action.
Yeah.
The way I've been kind of reserved about my how I feel about it, because I've been so introspective, because I've been so meditative, because I've been so prayerful. You may have a younger generation that do like the opposite, and they're just kind of expressing it in a different way. In a way I may hold it in. They're just saying, hey, I've had enough, or basically this is how I feel. I'm hurting, and now you're going to feel it. And that's what we're going through right now, and that's what we're experiencing.
Yeah, man, and I agree with you totally, because I know you do other things outside of your life coach, so you see the youth and how it's affecting them, and I try to explain to people. I'm saying, look, you have to remember, we had the 90s, the late 80s, we late 80s babies and 90s babies. So we had the 90s, you know what I'm saying? And these are the post 9/11 kids. So they've always lived in a world of a police state. They've always lived with all these damn cameras around, all this stupid social media. So they never had a world free. They don't know what freedom really looks like. You know what I'm saying? So now they acting like, what you created. You know what I'm saying? Like, social media doesn't make a person free. Social media is a prison system. And we're just older because we know that we use it for a promotion. But other than that, we're not really posting like every second of our lives on there. We're not posting, like what they do, and it's hard. And I know you said you wanted to speak on certain things earlier when we went through the notes. And then I know even like, so what do you feel like, you don't have to touch on it too much, but what do you feel like some solutions to what's going on, like, because you a black man and you're entitled to feel what you feel, because everybody has different needs, and what do you feel like will be a solution to this racism problem in America?
Well, first, that's a huge question, just as a solution to the race problem. I think first, my first way of tackling it, or my first way of just even becoming some kind of advisor, is people just first pointing the finger, and people are almost like in a way of like chastising, and they're having some harsh critiques of the protesters or rioters or whatever they would like to call them. And I think the first thing is finding out like why, you know what I mean? What is the reason behind it? So you have a judicial system who's not really going to try to figure out why. They're just going to do the judgment, and they're going to try and lock you up, and they're just going to kind of do that. We as the advisors or the OGs or whatever you would call it, we got to figure out like, well, what is behind this? You know what I mean? What is they basically take their action that they're showing and help them redirect it. And that, I don't think it's a bad thing that they're expressing themselves, maybe in the way that they're expressing themselves. View with with mainly what I see as the youth is doing right now. I think that's a great thing, because they're saying, I want to be heard. I think that can be such a powerful thing. So stop looking at it in terms of, hey, why are you doing this? Why are you doing this? And help them redirect it. So the first thing I would do is I would actually champion the youth in terms of congratulating them on saying, hey, listen, you are speaking. And it may be in a destructive way, but you are speaking right now. And say, yes, I hear you.
Yeah.
That's the first thing, acknowledgement of what's going on. And we may not commend the way they're doing it, but I believe one of the ways of healing is or the way of turning this turmoil of time into something, just saying, yo, I hear you.
Yeah.
Acknowledge them. I hear you. That's the first step. And then you can step in with just a little game, and you can step in with a little direction, and you can encourage them to be a little more I would like to say meditative, or at least have a little more thought to their action. But the worst thing that we're doing right now is we're pointing fingers and we're ridiculing them and we're judging them with the same kind of hammer that the judicial system would do. They're not trying to find out why they're doing what they're doing. They're just trying to chastise them right away. You're wrong, you're wrong, you're wrong, you're wrong, you're wrong. I would say first, commend them on voicing their opinion and saying, hey, I hear you. I hear you. And then the next step can come in terms of the direction of that energy. But I think the energy is beautiful, but maybe just the way they're shooting it off.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
we would probably do it a little different.
Yeah. And, you know, one of the things with me, once again, like I always say, with me, is the ownership. And having our own. Yeah. They don't feel like they have pride because they have to constantly ask a white man for something. It's like the daddy syndrome. Not even Stockholm syndrome is this bad. This shit is beyond Stockholm syndrome what's going on now. And I know 50 years from now they're gonna have in history books what this psychological type was called, because they don't feel like, you know, I'm at schools, I'm seeing, you know, and the homies talk to me because I do the music. So they like, yo, right. You know, they constantly feel like they not wanted in love, because then they'll make a black man's issue a gay issue, a Spanish issue, everybody else issue, like, till they feel like they feelings in their life don't matter. If you deal this shit every day where you told that you don't matter, or made feel, or passive aggressively made to feel crazy for your feelings and that rage that you have inside of you, of course you're gonna explode. Of course you're that. If you told, you made fun of because you want to read a book, you made fun of because you go to college. How many I know they're ashamed to say they read books. Everything that's right, that you're made to think is right, you'll get shamed for doing. You know? Right. But you know, like I said, man, I want to say thank you for touching on that. You know, I just wanted to just give a little insight on that perspective of that. And now you have your company Love with Legs, right? And you know, what made you want to get into the life coach mentorship space?
Very simply. I think the only way to actually affect something is to do it through an action. So Love with Legs, it borrows on the concept of love is an action word. Love is a verb. Love is a verb. It's not a noun. It's not a thing. And I would like to, the legs simplifying the two energies, masculine and feminine. One is the creative, one is the thought process behind it, and the other one is the actual go and let's get it going and let's just do it. Almost without the emotions. So when I understood, not only in the personal training or the fitness space, I realized the only way to affect someone is through a thoughtful action. And that kind of goes back to what I was saying about the youth, guiding them, love with legs, understanding what that is. Not only love for self, but love in everything you do. So I broke down every action that I take with patient attentiveness, but as well as still moving at the same time. And once I started to heal my own body, once I started to work on my own addictions, once I started to actually coach my own self, I started to realize that I can use workout and fitness and aerobics and just different fitness modalities as a way of helping people change their lives. Helping people change their lives. So it's literally just understanding addictions, understanding the little incremental changes that you can make on a daily basis that can kind of change your lives. And like I said, it's love with legs. It's an action word. We can say we love each other, or we can say we love ourselves, or we can say I want to change. But until you actually affect it on a real level by committing an action, I think it's null and void. So I just took that whole concept and I applied it not only to fitness, but just life in general. And I use it as a way to inspire people to move in a very responsible but loving way. You know?
Yeah, man. Respect on that. Big claps on that. And even with me, like doing the music, like I said, I see a lot of people lying to themselves. And I think what's happening today is I've been DJing for what years? 15 years now. 2005. I've been DJing, right? I done DJed all over New York, all over the state of New York, all over the Eastern Seaboard, overseas, DJ'd, been there, right? And I've seen so many changes in music. I done seen so many changes of people. And what's happened to me with, the concept of Love with Legs is dope because of this, right? The music influences the people. The imaging influences the people. Because the art and the art is the motion. You feel me? And how you have Love with Legs, I have Worldwide Sounds Records. And it's super dope what you're doing because a lot of people feel beat down and boggled down because the things that are going into their body. Everybody thinks that it's always about food or about what they drinking or what they eating. But honestly, it's about energies. It's about that care. It's about that giving somebody a hug today. Did you say a compliment to them? You could lose 10 pounds by just somebody giving you good energy all day. You know what I'm saying? And people don't think like that. Even me, like, I started gaining weight when I started going through a lot of family problems. You know what I'm saying? That was 10 years ago, and I'm still, trying to get the weight off from back then. You know what I'm saying? Because I wasn't feeling good about myself, and I was, just eating bad and not eating right. And then even so, I wouldn't eat, and I would still gain weight because all of that stress weight would come on, and my body just would start holding it. You know what I'm saying? So what you're doing, brother, is definitely, it's a step in the right direction. It's a step on, God's path for you. It's a step on the healing process of black people, And I just want to say respect on that too, bro.
Yo, yeah, that's dope. And thanks for even recognizing that. That's really dope. I start out all my classes out with breath work. That's the first thing we do. We get control of our breathing because we realize the control of the breath, it dictates our mood, it dictates our energy. And sometimes if we just sit and we take long breaths and allow that oxygen to flow through your brain, we can kind of hit a reset button. So before I get into any kind of work, I just hit that reset button by asking people to take long, deep breaths in, and then we go into the workout. And then as I go into the workout, I'm mixing the workouts also with positive affirmations. So we're reaffirming our success as we're going through it, and we're speaking positive things as we're doing it. And I'm repeating, "You're awesome, you're dope." And not only am I talking to my client, but I'm talking to myself. And in that, we kind of, we use that as fuel and as motivation, and understand it's not just the body, it's not just what we eat, but it's also what we're saying to each other and like regulating our energy on a real level, And then again, at the end of the workout, I take it down into like a moment of prayer real quick, where we go back into our breathing. Breathe in, breathe out. We hit that reset button again as we're ending. Then we end in a prayer just to kind of also speak these affirmations and speak to the God inside of ourselves. And just so the manipulation of energy is very real. What we say to each other on a daily basis, what we think about ourselves, and how we're able to relegate our emotions and energy even during this turmoil time. So even for you to mention that was really dope. But that's a deep.
Yeah, man, because like I said, and it's so funny because, like I said, when I was younger, I was a little heavy set, but I wasn't, big. And then, like I said, when I started going through just so much stress and so much my body just changes. Like, even now, like with this COVID, this shit, I look dermatitis on my arm and shit because I'm just like, my body's just wigging out, So, that's very important. And a lot of times, too, people put so much, everybody's body type is different. And, people put so much pressure on themselves. Even with me, I started internment fasting. So I started doing more fasting, and I lost a lot of weight, you know what I'm saying? And just doing like, you as a friend, you know what I'm saying, that trust, because, you don't make people feel shamed, you know what I'm saying? That's a big part of, that's going to make you go a long way, because you know, people feel ashamed to feel, like I said, once again, here we go back to the shame issue of black people feeling shame to eat healthy. And like I said, you could have a cheat day, but we ashamed to eat our own food. And I had to explain to somebody earlier. I said, look, I want to put you on the game. I said, okay, fried chicken is bad for you. Anything is bad for you if you eat it every day. But I said they would never make a Spanish person feel shame for eating pernil, which has way more cholesterol than fried chicken. They would never make a white person feel bad for eating linguine, which has way more starches than macaroni and cheese. You know what I'm saying? So don't do that. You know what I'm saying? Like, everybody's culture is different. We just do what we do, and that, you know what I'm saying. And our body's natural instinct, and this is part of the problem, is that we're being shamed and scolded for our natural instincts, our natural abilities, and our natural habits. You know what I'm saying? Black people like chicken. Chicken is awesome. I love chicken. You know what I'm saying? Now, I don't get food. Like I said, I don't care. I love chicken. You know what I'm saying? I love seafood. There's nothing wrong with that. You know what I'm saying? Everything in moderation. You don't have to kill yourself by doing it. But I'm not gonna let you make me feel crazy because you eat pork and pig all day, and cholesterol feel rice and starch feels rice all day. But I gotta be ashamed because I like chicken. That don't make no sense. You know what I'm saying? And my body wouldn't eat it. My body wouldn't eat it if we didn't like it. It's just that simple. You know what I'm saying? So that a lot of got to do with knowledge of self as well. You know. And I think like with your Love with Legs, it provides a lot of knowledge with self incorporated into it, and a lot of good teachings, because you in teaching, like I said, pride, motivation, all these things that are needed, bro. And you know, I know, especially my next question for you is too, what's your take on black mental health? Black men's mental health, heterosexual black men's mental health.
Great question. That kind of just piggyback off something that's what you're saying. First, acceptance, kind of like in the AA meeting. Like, one of the first steps in the AA meeting is acceptance. When you step in, you say, "Hey, my name is Coach Classic, or my name is Josh, and I am addict." So you accept exactly where you're at right now, and that's also the purpose of the breath work at the beginning of the class. It's kind of a point of just saying, "Hey, this is where I'm at now, and this may not be where I'm going to be at tomorrow." But it's a starting point for me. It's a starting point for me. So as you get into your breath work and then you go into your workout, you can actually learn how to really accept, but then get in a point to grow. So I think in terms of us, we need to first have accept wherever we're at. We'll accept wherever we're at. And I think that's a big part of us letting things go. Because a lot of times, well, first taking down the rabbit hole all the way, when I was making that turn into fitness, not only on a professional level, but on a personal level, it was because of dealing with things like depression, dealing with things like addiction, dealing with things that had been haunting me for a long time. And one of the struggles that I dealt with was marijuana. And so for years and years and years and years, I had been smoking marijuana, and I never really took an inventory of why. And initially, I thought it was I need to stop marijuana because it was killing my motivation. I would come in, I would smoke, and I would just kind of become lackadaisical, and I would not become as effective as I wanted to be. But lo and behold, once I started to really examine my use of marijuana, it was really to cover up something that I hadn't been fighting for a long while. And I remember on my journey to stop smoking, I remember on the 5th day of stop smoking, my dreams started to come back. And I'm sure I was dreaming before, but for whatever reason, while smoking, I didn't recall my dreams. But I remember on the 5th day specifically, my dreams start to reappear, but in the most, at the time it wasn't amazing. I actually looked at them as nightmares. But what they were roadmaps to things I needed to address. So a lot of times, as black men, in worldwide, but specifically in America, we have a lot of the childhood traumas or
Oh yeah.
things that we are not dealing with straight up. So what we do is we're doing self-medication. It can be food, it can be drugs, it can be whatever you use as a way of numbing yourself, not to kind of go straight to your problem. And I didn't realize, even prior to being an adult and realizing, my mom used to say that when I was a teenager smoking. She used to tell me you're self-medicating, and I had no idea what she was really saying. What she was saying is you're going through some pain and you're finding something to make you feel better while going through it. So when we take inventory of the actual problems that we're having, it's usually linked to some undiagnosed, unaddressed pain. And the first step to healing is acceptance.
Yeah.
It's saying this is what it is. And like I said, this may not be where I'm going to be tomorrow, but this is where I'm at today. And no longer running from it.
Yeah.
And learning how to find the tools for action to actually take real inventory and start healing. So we need to, it's undiagnosed trauma and things that we need to not be afraid to kind of talk about. And I'm glad for even having this platform, because it needs to be conversation, my brother.
It does, because like I said, man, we don't have, a lot of black men have been programmed for and I watched it happen. Like, I literally watched it in real time over the past maybe 7 years, how black men have been made to be enemies towards each other versus brothers. You know what I'm saying? And I watched it. I watched it happen from just the behind the scenes, and just, we've been made and we as a collective, not anybody individually, but just mean mugs and this one against like me, this nigga think he better than me, or this one against money than me. You can't even go to a club without trying to hate on you because you getting money. You know what I'm saying? You just there. I worked a hard day shift, but I got worried about again trying to rob me for something that I worked a job for. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's stupid. I'm so stupid and it's all dumb. And I just tried my best to, even me, like I used to be there, me, I used to be there, yo, let's do this, let's own some business, let's own some stocks, because it's getting clowning me, you know what I'm saying? But at the end of the day, regardless to that, it's bigger than me, it's bigger than that, it's bigger than everybody. And I try to, and I try, but I want to say what you have going on is very dope, brother. And I know you have your 21-day challenge, so plug that before we get out of here. Because we got, like I said, this is our platform. We're going to be on more than this. This is just the first of many. So I know you got the 21-day health challenge, brother. So explain that for the people.
Absolutely. Just building on daily motivation and helping people along the journey of actually healing. And sometimes we just need someone in front of us on a daily basis, reminding us not only of our greatness, but giving us opportunities to move. So what I do, I formed a group where I invite you to be a part of this journey for 21 days. And I have pre-recorded videos where daily I'm giving you a breath work. I'm giving you a warm-up. I'm giving you a cardio exercise and 2 or 3 routines that you can do on a daily to kind of get your energy up first, get your body in motion. You incorporate the positive affirmations and just the movement. So some people need that constant reminder to move, especially during this time right now. A lot of people are living a sedentary lifestyle where we're sitting down a lot more, where we're getting to a point where we're not as mobile.
Yep.
Some people are really
even young
doing
kids,
a lot of things from home.
Not even us, not even just the older cats, the young cats, they don't do anything. They just sit home all day and drink Hennessy all day. That's how it is. I just started drinking like that till I was about 22. But I don't even drink hard Henny like that. You know what I'm saying? I may have a glass of wine. Even me, I'm 32, so like I might have a glass of wine like every so often now. But they young, they hitting the Hennessy hard now.
Yeah. Real quick to the plug. If anyone wants to be down with the 21-day challenge, just those daily workouts to kind of keep you motivated, keep you inspired, loveloves.com. And I think we all need that right now in this time where, like I said, people are living a sedentary lifestyle where people are less active. But really quick, what I do want is I just want to kind of just piggyback off something you were saying in terms of that friction that has been created, or even in terms of these young kids self-medicating themselves for Hennessy or whatever they're medicating themselves. It's all fear. And these are little tidbits and little nuggets that I get while I'm in meditation, while I'm in my breath work. It's fear. I remember being very young and understanding that if we're mean-mugging each other, I look across at you, you're looking across at me. What stops us from engaging in a positive way is fear. And it may be fear of multiple things. Fear that you are an enemy from another neighborhood. Fear that you might not reciprocate the same love. And I remember at one point when I was very young, I would look across and see someone who traditionally I was told that I should be fearful of. And I remember I would just give him like a little head nod or just kind of break friction. Yeah. And then what happens was you just see it instantly, the defenses kind of dwindles away, and they'll more than likely just say like, what's up back? And initially it's like, it's okay. It's like a reminder of how we're supposed to interact. But for that brief second, that instill fear that we've almost been programmed to do. You have to find ways of stripping down this fear and understanding what the fear is. And it may be fear on multiple levels. Like I said, it may be fear of that the love won't be reciprocated. I remember it was a fear of this person may be from an opposing neighborhood that I may be beefing and I don't want to befriend an enemy. And like I said in the other part, it's the programming, it's the constant programming that we're supposed to be in fear of each other. But if we find ways to dispel those myths, or we find ways to strip our brothers of their like defenses, it can be a nod. It can be addressing, that's my brother. You know what I mean? When people are coming into my session, that's how we address each other, or just in general in life. You know what I mean? When I'm talking to you, I'm saying, "What's up, my brother Chase?" Like, hey, but that's really it's a way of kind of injecting that love. And I'm of the belief that all emotions, they stem from either fear or love. Respect. And I believe if you learn how to redirect it away from fear and find an opposing emotion, you can really find the cheat code to this whole thing, man.
Real talk. And on that note, my brother, thank you very much for calling in. This is the first of many thousands of podcast episodes. I'm going to have you call in and we just top it up. So, plug your social media, plug your website, and all that goodness.
Oh, yes. First, thanks for having me. Just giving a voice to truly powerful people like myself. Coach Classic on everything. I've branded Coach Classic on Instagram, Facebook, but the company is Love with Legs. Remember, love is an action word. That's also available everywhere. Lovewithlegs.com is the hub where you can sign up for the 21-day detox. You can find my group fitness classes, and just everything. So the branding is Love with Legs, and my name once again is Coach Classic. And it's just been a pleasure to kind of just share my vibe and share my nuggets of wisdom and give me a chance to expand my brand through the use of your show, Chase. I appreciate you, my brother.
Not a problem, man. Thank y'all. Everybody tuning in, man. That was my brother, Coach Classic, a.k.a. Joshua. Man, you're now locked in the PreGame PartyMix podcast. We more than DJ show. We about uplifting. We about motivation, black empowerment, and black pride. So with that being said, man, it's the Rush Hour PartyMix right here on Connecticut's own Smack'em Radio. and the PreGame PartyMix podcast on Apple Podcasts, Spotify Podcasts, YouTube, all that goodness. It's too many to name, but you know where they be on because you listen to. You dig? It's Worldwide Sounds Record Zone, DJ Chase Gia.